Sean Strickland has stated that he had a staph infection and was on antibiotics a couple weeks prior to his fight versus Dricus du Plessis. Contrary to what Sean and Eric have said, a staph infection and being on antibiotics does affect an athlete's performance and their training regimen. A staph infection is super serious. I mean, you could lose your limb or you could literally go into sepsis from having staph, so it could be potentially deadly. Because staph is so serious, they are going to put you on some very strong antibiotics, and the antibiotics are in turn going to affect your gut microbiome. Now, your gut microbiome produces about 70% of your neurotransmitters. Those are the chemicals that affect transmission of nerve signals. Neurotransmitters also affect your mood. So being on antibiotics is most definitely going to have an impact on an athlete who's also cutting weight and putting themselves under an abnormal amount of physical stress and strain with the sparring sessions, with the other strength and conditioning workouts, and probably lots of running and endurance activities as well. Now, I feel like Strickland, as the athlete, took the right approach and said, hey, the antibiotics didn't affect me, because that's your job as an athlete, is to just power forward. However, I do fault the coach, Eric Nixick, because I feel it's the coach's job to then cut their athletes some slack publicly and say, hey, my athlete had to go through this antibiotic regimen, he had a staph infection, and then the coach can then cut him some slack. But what did Eric Nixick do? Instead, he just also said, hey, no, the antibiotics and the staph infection had no impact. There's no excuse for Sean's so-called sleepwalking through the du Plessis fight. But bottom line, there's no way that staph infection and being on strong antibiotics did not have an impact on Sean Strickland's preparation for Dricus du Plessis. There may even have been a bit of a carryover effect into the cage that night. Nobody's looking to make excuses, but facts are facts. If you have a staph infection, your body's fighting that off. If you then take a strong dosage of antibiotics, that also affects your internal system, which is then going to impact your physical output. Have any of you guys ever had staph? Tell us how it went. Tell us the impact of taking those antibiotics. I look forward to hearing from you in the comments.